My boys, it's time once again. It's that time of the month for the hype scale. It's the MMA series I'm doing where I'm going to be going over my personal hype, my personal levels of excitement for a lot of the big bad upcoming UFC fights that we have going down for the month of August. Now, July, it was a solid month. We saw a lot of finishes. We saw a lot of back and forth wars, a couple of fight of the year candidates. And in terms of name value, it wasn't the craziest month in the world, but it was solid for entertainment. So August, it's a solid month. How this series works, the closer I'm going to be ranking a fight for August, closer to the left side of your screen. You see the little angry Dana on the left side down there, okay? Creeping up from hell. That is pretty much going to be me not very excited for a fight. Not much emotion put into it, not much thought put into it. I'm not really thinking about it. It's just not much investment emotionally or whatever the hell it may be, okay? If it's around like that middle ground, the neutral area, you know what I mean? Think of it like a 5 out of 10 range. Like there's good elements to it or there's bad elements to it, but maybe it's one of those fights where you're not thinking about it too much until the week of, or maybe it's like a sneaky good bang or whatever it may be. The neutral ground is a fair, solid area. And then the closer you are to the right side of your screen, that green area, the happy Dana in the corner, obviously the more excited I am for a fight. Think of it as getting closer to a 10 out of 10 range, okay? There's a lot to think about. My heart's invested in it. It's going to be a banger, whatever it may be, okay? But that's how this series works. Think about it as like a spectrum of sorts. So just starting off with the first one we got here, man. Brian Ortega versus Aljamain Sterling. It's the co-main event, question mark next to that, fucking co-main event for UFC Shanghai, man. I'm going to give this slightly above neutral. Like significantly, but slightly above neutral, okay? Like a 6 out of 10, if you will, okay? Because I'm solidly hyped for this fight. It's a fight I kind of go back and forth about. I'm not sure of the fucking winner yet. I'm leaning towards Sterling, the former champion, and Brian Ortega. You could argue, is the more well-rounded fighter, because he is very elite on the ground, but he's also probably the better fucking striker. Hits solidly harder than a guy like Aljamain Sterling, but people forget, man, Aljamain Sterling, underrated on the feet. He was getting outstruck by Movsar Evloev, but people forget, alright? That's the number one fucking contender. That's the guy who has underrated striking in general. And Aljamain Sterling was able to out-grapple him, so if he's able to out-grapple and just control efficiently Evloev on the ground, I think he'll be able to do something similar, possibly to a guy like Ortega. We'll have to see how built like a tub of milk Brian Ortega is going to do. We thought he'd be moving up to 155, but he's still here, so Aljamain Sterling, I really like this as an opponent for him. We have an elite grappler versus an elite grappler, except Sterling actually touched the belt. Granted, it was at 135, but I like this fight. You could really argue that it deserves to be the main event for the fight night, but at the end of the day, they got to represent somebody from China to represent the China card. It is what the fuck it is, but I really do like this fight. I like the matchmaking. Elite grappling on display is what we're about to see. Great scrambles, a very high pace probably, and it's a high level matchup. I like it for both guys. It's winnable for both guys. I'm going to put this slightly but significantly above neutral, like a 6 out of 10 here, okay? Moving on up next to Jared Cannonier versus Michael Venom Page for the Chicago card, okay? I'm going to put this right around the same ballpark as Ortega versus Sterling, but probably slightly above because I'm a Cannonier fan. An MVP, you know what I mean? He's one of these guys where I literally just said MVP's name and then said, you know what I mean, all right? This is a peak somebody that they gave a college fucking degree to. I'm sorry, okay? MVP is somebody who you know what you're going to get with him, okay? Very elite striking. It's very hard for guys to figure out his style, figure out the range, get in the pocket with him. MVP has very elite head movement. He's fast as fuck, even though he's getting up there in age. His footwork is quick as fuck. The guy is a crazy fucking striker, even for welterweight or middleweight standards, and this one is at middleweight, which is, you know, he was able to piece up Shara Bullet like a 30 damn near 27 decision, but Jared Cannonier I feel like is a step above in competition to where I got a good fucking underdog feeling about Jared Cannonier in that fucking fight. Not to fucking maybe spoil my pick here, but Jared Cannonier versus MVP is a bit of a 50-50 fight. I could see people picking either way, and I like those kinds of fights. The fights that are the harder to predict, in my opinion, are the ones that are usually the fucking most enjoyable in the build up here, or the best to fucking watch, okay? The ones that are closest in the betting odds. In this fight, here's the thing why I'm not more excited for it. I like the placement of it on the pay-per-view. It's like the first or second fight on the card. I like that, okay? The reason why I'm not more excited for it, because I'm a fan of Cannonier, and MVP, I fuck with him, is for two reasons, and one of them is because this could be a stinker. This really could be a stinker of a fight. I wouldn't be surprised. And number two is because, I guess leading into that, is because MVP has been putting on a bit of a stinker-esque performance streak in the UFC here, because his debut, it was flashy, it was fun, he was quick as fuck in there. You got Kevin Holland going in the corner saying he's quick quicker than we thought. He had very clickable moments in that fight. He had a lot of shit he was adding to the highlight reel, and it was fun to watch, but the fight against Ian Gary was a bit of a fucking dud, and that's not all his fault, but the fight against Shara Bullet as well, that was a striker versus striker, a prime versus somebody who has fucking had so much experience, and it just, that was a bit of, and even you could argue a worse fight than the Ian Gary fight. So at the end of the day, MVP hasn't had the really highlight reel heavy performance fest that we wanted from him out of the UFC, but I think that this fight has potential to be a fucking banger. I'm not gonna shit on it, but I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little bit worried that it could be a stinker. It could be one of these Moicano versus Dariush's or something like that on the card. I don't think it will be, but again, with MVP, especially in the UFC, you don't fucking know, but we know he's capable of a knockout, and Cannonier is fucking on a bit of a resurgence right now, man. Competitive fights with Imavov and Baraujo and knocking out Rodriguez. So I like this fight. Good fucking matchmaking on display. I'm curious how MVP is going to really handle the middleweight mold against somebody who's in the top 7 and has fought for the fucking belt before, instead of Sharabola, who just went life and death with Marc-Andre Barriou. So I like this fight. It is what it is. Striker versus striker here, primarily at the fucking least. Cannonier's the more well-rounded fighter, but MVP's the more elite striker. I can fuck with this, man. Moving on up next to the main event for the exact same card, UFC 319 in Chicago, baby. Du Plessis versus Chimaev. Now, for the first time in the very short life that this series has had, this is the maximum PP. This is the 10 out of 10. This is about as hyped as I can get, me personally, for a fight, all right? And again, this is all down to opinion, but for me personally, this is my spectrum, and I know I'm placed a little bit weirdly myself on the spectrum. My chromosomes aren't all in the right place, but for this fight specifically, I think they are, man. I love this fight. With Jones and Aspinall falling through, with Makhachev and Topuria falling through. I mean, we might get that one next year, but you know what I mean? Like, both those fights have fallen through pretty much. And this is the fight of the year, in my opinion. This really is like a proven #1 contender who's beaten former champions in Robert Whittaker and Kamaru Usman. He's the, you know, you got people calling this guy the Mike Tyson of grappling, and that's a pretty accurate fucking description. You got Dana White saying that this guy has done things that he's never fucking seen before, and that's pretty accurate, man. Like, round 1, submission after submission, a little, people forget, man, kind of knockout over GM3 here and there. Like, Chimaev has for sure had his ups and downs in the UFC. Like, he's had a lot of controversies along the way. He's pulled out of a lot of fights. He's very inactive. He's had very close decisions against Gilbert Burns and Kamaru Usman, and while he's had very impressive performances as well against fucking Holland, against Whittaker, shit like that, just the fact that he's unbeaten 14-0, like, the guy is as terrifying of a #1 contender as you could possibly fucking get. Like, the WWE can't write shit better themselves, okay? Chimaev, man, the grappling is something so dominant, so efficient, so fucking scary, man. To be fucking frank, like, his submission entries, his submission ability on the ground in general, his strength down there, his fucking grip and his fucking squeeze, like, Chimaev is a guy who his takedowns, they're pretty fucking accurate. His takedown defense, it's like an iron fucking wall. And Dricus du Plessis is the perfect fucking matchup for him, okay? Like, I'm building up Chimaev, the fucking mighty #1 contender who, again, like, we've had a bit of investment in Chimaev for a long time now in the UFC. He's been a bit of a big name ever since he really fucking started. Like, this guy, people forget, man. I'm spamming that for this video. I really gotta stop fucking saying that shit. I'm literally Joe Rogan maxing. I'm literally gonna be fucking bald and sponsoring Black Rifle Coffee after this. But Chimaev in 2020, 2021 was gonna face Leon Edwards, the #3 contender, while this guy was like unranked. So Chimaev has been riding the hype train, and Uncle Dana's been a big fan of him with the Looney Tunes Hard Eyes for a long time now. And the fact that he really is here, finally getting his title shot, and the fight is a couple weeks away. So God forbid the guy is healthy enough to compete, because if so, this could be the fight of the year, man. It's the highly anticipated main event, man. And Dricus du Plessis is a champion worthy of a #1 contender like this. Whoever wins this fight, it's such a high stakes matchup, man, because they're going to become not only somebody who could really become the middleweight GOAT, but for Dricus, he probably already will be. If he beats Chimaev, there's a really good argument that he will become already the middleweight fucking GOAT for the division. And I love that. And if Chimaev wins, he's somebody who, I hope he doesn't fucking retire. I could totally see him doing that bullshit. And I am worried if Chimaev wins, because then he'll be inactive as fuck as champion. But it still would be really to determine who the greatest middleweight in the fucking world is. Like, this title fight really embodies what a title fight should be. It is to embody who the #1 best is for this division in the entire fucking world for mixed martial arts. Who is the greatest fighter for middleweight? Dricus du Plessis, who's got good takedown defense, good striking. He's a very high output, a very high volume, but he also has solid fucking power behind his shots. Very high finishing ability. He's hunting for it the entire fucking fight, but he's got a good enough cardio to maintain a very high pace. He has a good chin to hang in the pocket with a lot of guys who can fucking crack. And again, his defensive grappling is solid enough to where Chimaev, it's going to be a really concerning fight for him if he can't take Du Plessis out of there within the first 2 rounds. I know we say that for every single fight, but there's a reason why Chimaev, this is the smallest he's ever been a fucking favorite. And he's fought guys like Usman and Whitaker, okay? People are recognizing that this is a very close fight. And again, Dricus Du Plessis, my underdog of the fucking year. I wish I could be there live. I'm from Chicago, but again, with these $500 fucking tickets, I just couldn't fucking force myself to do it. But unfortunately, man, even for the nosebleeds, I would have loved to see this fight, but I love this main event. It is my fight of the year. I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10 for my personal hype scale here, okay? It has everything you want in a fight. I think it's going to be very exciting, very high paced, and it is very high stakes. So moving on up next to a quick one. I just had a fucking rant that took the soul out of me. Let's get this over with. We got Taira versus Park. I'm going to put this pretty close to zero concern, all right? Not absolutely at the bottom, but maybe like a 2 out of 10. And listen, not to be a fucking, the hardcore here, but I do actually like this fucking matchup. I do like the matchmaking. I respect both guys for taking this on fucking shortish notice. They both had a fight that they were preparing for within the same 2-week span. So it's not really short notice physically, but, you're taking a different opponent. You're taking a different event for Park here. And Park, 10-0, it's taking a massive step up in competition. He was going to be facing, I believe, Steve Erceg, who's a great fighter. Don't get me wrong, it's a top 10 opponent, but Taira is a bit more fresh and in the game, and even though he is coming off a loss, it's not as much as a devastating Dominic Reyes type losing streak that Steve Erceg is on, unfortunately. So Tatsuro Taira Man versus Park. This is a great matchup. I respect both guys for taking it. I think it's going to be very elite grappling and scrambles that we see on display, but there's no buzz behind this. There's no name value behind this. It's very rushed. If this fight was going down in 2 or 3 years, more momentum for Park specifically, but also maybe a bit more fights for Taira, like this fight would be a bit better, but it just shouldn't be a main event. It's rushed together. It is what the fuck it is. It's going to be entertaining and high paced and very good grappling for what we do see out of it, but it just shouldn't be a main event, and you could tell it's just very fucking rushed together here. You can't believe this is a top 5 flyweight scrap. No disrespect to both guys, they're very fucking good, but again, you know what I mean? There's just no buzz in the air to it. It's just very apex main event. So moving on up next, I guess speaking of the flyweights, let's do Steve Erceg versus Ode Osbourne, okay? Again, everyone likes comparing this fight to the Dominic Reyes versus Ryan Spann fight, and hopefully that's not the case, okay? Because again, it is a scary parallel, honestly, because Ode Osbourne is about a similar skill level to Ryan Spann, maybe a little bit above, okay? The lighter man skill, as they fucking say. But Ode Osbourne, man, he can crack. He's kind of one of these win one, lose one kind of fighters. Like, he definitely is beatable. He definitely can get defeated. He can get caught on the feet. He can get beaten up on the ground and controlled a bit. He can get taken down. And Steve Erceg is well-rounded enough to where maybe I could see him fucking mixing it up and having a classic 30-27 vintage Steve Erceg performance, or maybe some kind of finish. But I'm worried for Steve Erceg here. Okay, I was even more worried when he was going to face fucking Hyung-Sung Park, but this is a little bit better. Ode Osbourne's a little bit more winnable, but fucking fight for him. But regardless, Steve Erceg just doesn't have a lot of buzz or momentum on his side right now, and I'm a fan of Erceg, you know what I mean? Like, it is what it is, I'm coming up short on a bit of a losing streak right now, but it is what it is. I'm still going to be the champion for the Aussies, for the Kiwis. I'm just simply trying to be the best fighter in the UFC. Steve fucking Erceg, I believe in you, motherfucker. You can win this fight, but it's hard for me to really get super hyped up for it because Ode Osbourne, he's a guy who he is entertaining as fuck to watch, and the same goes for Steve Erceg, but for this fight specifically, it's going down in the apex as well. It lacks that kind of buzz and hype you really need. I'm going to maybe give it like a, if Taira versus Park was a 2 out of 10, maybe this is like a 3 out of 10, maybe a 4 if I'm being motherfucking generous. And that's nothing against Osbourne, and that's nothing against Erceg. It's just the fact that both these guys, Osbourne is coming off of a nice fucking win. He's coming off of a nice fucking knockout. But Erceg being on a bit of a losing streak here, I think this is going to be an entertaining fight. I do like the matchmaking. It is technically winnable for both guys, but my fear of Erceg fucking losing is my greatest feeling for this fight, and that's kind of distracted me from everything else. I'm very worried for Erceg, so I'll give it around like that slightly below neutral kind of vibe. Like, I do like the fight. I do like the matchmaking. It is intriguing for both sides, but yeah, slightly below neutral here, though. Moving on up next to another one for UFC 319, getting the fuck out of the apex here. We got Carlos Prates taking on Jeff Neal. This fight was rebooked, and I'm glad it was rebooked. I like this fight in the fucking first place, and Carlos Prates in the meantime taking on Ian Gary, and Jeff Neal finally coming back here. He hasn't fought since the RDA fight from last October. I like this fight a fucking lot, if you can't already fucking tell. And this is another one, just like I was saying with the main event for this card. Like, I'm sad that I can't see this one live, man. I'm going to put this one slightly above neutral, maybe like a 6.5 out of 10, maybe like almost a 7 out of 10, you know, like around that ballpark. Because I do like this fight. Like Jeff Neal, I fuck with him. He's a solid boxer. He's damn near underrated. Like the guy, I understand he's kind of winning one, losing one, and he's not the most active fighter in the world. Sometimes he can get too much time in the clinch. He can push you up against the fence a little bit too fucking much, and some of his fights are stinkers, but also sometimes he has fucking wars. Like sometimes he'll get crazy fucking knockouts. There's a reason why the motherfucker is called Hands of Steel. He could put on Fight of the Year candidates against guys like fucking Shavkat Rakhmonov, who even himself can stink it up at times. So at the end of the day, Jeff Neal, he might be hit or miss here and there, but the guy, he has an underrated skill set. He's a good fucking boxer with solid power, and I feel like he might be able to get a win here. But Carlos Prates, man, like I feel like this is a winnable fight for him. Both these guys came up short to Ian motherfucking Gary. I guess that they got that in fucking common here, but this is going to be a fight where it's striker versus striker. I could see Jeff Neal trying to maybe stink it up a little bit too much time in the clinch here, but Carlos Prates, man, with the Muay Thai background and in general, the guy's got good elbows and he's powerful as fuck. I think that even if Jeff Neal tries to fucking make this fight in the clinch for a little bit too much here, I think Carlos Prates is not going to allow that to happen. I think this is going to be a very fucking entertaining fight in general. Both guys are going to fucking bring it, in my opinion. Very high paced. Both guys know how to fucking knock each other the hell out. Powerful on the feet. It's one of these guys that are ranked like 10 through 15. It's got banger written all over it. Even if it goes the fucking distance, I don't give a fuck. Like, it's gonna be entertaining. Striker versus striker. I fuck with this fight. I'm glad it was rebooked here, man, okay? Moving on up next to a heavyweight clash of the Titans. We got Sergey Pavlovich versus Waldo Cortes Acosta. Now, some people honestly might like this fight, and some people might hate this fight. Some people might think it's a blob fest. It kinda is, but I'm gonna put this right. I feel like I got this for every episode so far, but I'm gonna put this one right in the fucking middle, right in the neutral ground, smack dab, a 5 out of 10, okay? Because I actually like this matchmaking. Sergey Pavlovich, he had a fucking stinker in his last outing, and Waldo Cortes Acosta is kind of being active as hell here, okay? He took a year off, but now he's having a quick turnaround after coming off of a win. I personally, this guy, I had money on him, and I still thought that Sergey Spivak fucking beat him. But it is what it is. I'm not going to complain about it. I appreciate him completing out my fucking parlay, but Waldo Cortes Acosta here, man, he's honestly solidly entertaining. I'm not going to cut the bullshit here, man. Like, underrated performance against the Spain, not to fucking push out my glasses here, but then knocking out Ryan Spann, and then having an honestly pretty fucking fun back and forth against Spivak here. Like, the guy, he's one of these prospects where it's like, I kind of can't stand him, but I'm also alright with him at the same fucking time. Like, the fact that he is the rising contender right now for the division, and he's gonna get a fucking title shot against Tom Aspinall if he beats Sergey Pavlovich, is a reality that I don't think I'm fucking ready for yet. That's a Thanos winning kind of reality, but it is what it is. I'm honestly cool with this matchup, though. I think it's winnable for both guys, and like I was saying earlier, I love those kinds of fights where it is a bit 50-50 here. Pavlovich, I know he is coming off a bit of a stinker, you know, even when he was kind of cracking Rosenstruck, rest in peace fucking Rosenstruck, off in Dirty Boxing right now, hope he's doing fucking well, but I'll send him the fucking Christmas card. But Sergey Pavlovich was able to beat him, but even when he was rocking him with his big fucking shots, he wasn't really following up with any combinations or anything like that. It was a bit of a dud. It was a disappointing performance in a way. It was a bit of a safety win for him to get back in the win column. And you know what? I'm okay with that. I could tip my fucking Ben Askren throw to that. Like, I'm not going to disrespect that. Like, he was on a fucking losing skid. He had to get back in the win column. He had a very frustrating loss on his end, at the very least, against fucking Alexander Volkov. So I can understand it, man. But even these guys that have a bit of a dud here and there, I don't think it's going to be a streak for Sergey Pavlovich. Like, he was a knockout artist before, okay? And I feel like he's going to go back to his fucking roots here. I feel like he's going to aim for a fucking highlight reel-esque performance against Cortes Acosta. He knows there's probably a fucking #1 contendership spot in the air, and for Cortes Acosta, he feels the exact same thing. And like, I feel like this guy, he's a bit of a fucking goofball. I'm not really rooting for him here. It's a bit fucking bizarre that he's gonna be the next #1 contender possibly, but it is what it is. I'm cool with this matchup. Like, I feel like it's just gonna be a striker versus striker fucking battle. Probably ended in a knockout. It's gonna be a bit sloppy here and there, and it could be a dud, who knows? But I feel like that Cortes Acosta, he usually brings a pretty high pace. And for Pavlovich, I feel like he's going to have the dog out of him to where he knows that he wants to fucking make a statement. So I'm going to give this a 5 out of 10 right there in the neutral ground, okay? Some people hate this fight, and I think that's fair, but I'm honestly cool with it, if that makes sense. Moving on up next to a quickie here. A quickie because I don't got much to fucking say, because Roman Dolidze versus Anthony Hernandez. It's not like I hate the matchup here. I'm a big Anthony Hernandez fan. But I'm gonna put this fight goddamn near the bottom, okay? Jesus Christ, it could be around like that Tatsuro Taira versus Young Sung Park level. Like, maybe I'll rate it like a 3 out of 10. Like, just something like that. Like, this just isn't it for me. Because Anthony Hernandez, I'm a big fan of him. Like, I genuinely think that he's one of the prospects of the fucking year for last year. I think right now he's on the fucking rise. I think that he's gonna be able to beat, or at least give a very good fucking fight against most of the middleweight division. I think his grappling and his cardio combined with his ever-improving striking is a dangerous combination, and he's relatively young for the division. He's a great prospect to invest in. He makes grappling and the scrambles entertaining. I fuck with Anthony Hernandez, okay? And I'm glad that he's getting these big co-main spots or these main event spots as of late. I think he deserves it, okay? But Roman Dolidze here. This is the iceberg that's sinking the fucking Titanic. And the Titanic being this fight, man. I just can't really get invested in a Roman Dolidze fight. I can't generate that hype that you really fucking need, okay? Especially when it's an Apex main event. An Apex main events, you're going to be able to hear every leather smacking shot that Roman Dolidze is going to land here, man. Like, Roman Dolidze, man, like, I'm sure he's a great guy. I'm sure there's a lot of Roman Dolidze fans here, man. I said that Martin Tybura was a fucking blob who was just a fucking NPC, and I actually got a few people in the comments being like, actually, Tybura seems like a good guy, so I'm not going to fucking make the same mistake twice. But Roman Dolidze, man, even though he gets finishes here and there, even though he has solid pop behind his shots, even though he doesn't always put on stinkers, I just can't get myself to be really invested in this fight here, okay? So I'm a big fluffy fan, but out of all the matchups you can give him in the top 15, this was really, and I mean this, at least from my personal opinion, the least intriguing matchup. Because honestly, in terms of competition level, you know, I think that Dolidze could give a lot of problems to Hernandez. I think Dolidze isn't a bad fighter. Dolidze is solidly well-rounded. He's pretty solid in all regards, but there's nothing great in his game. He's not great in the mic. He's not the most entertaining fighter a lot of the time. So there's shit like that. But at the end of the day, 3 out of 10, it is what it is. That's what I'm going to give this fight here, man, okay? Moving on up next here to Tim Elliott versus Kai Asakura. We got a future Japanese superstar trying to open up the main card here for UFC 319. And Tim Elliott, I mean, coming out of the closet here. He's got to fucking dust off the cobwebs on him, because this guy, where does he go? Tim Elliott just appears like once every year or two, like he's fucking coming out of the hyperbolic time chamber, okay? But the difference is he's not exactly getting better every time he comes out of it, okay? Tim Elliott, I don't understand how he's in that top 10. Maybe he's not in the top 10 anymore. I don't get the rankings pulled up in front of me, but I'm pretty sure he's around that ballpark, and I don't understand how or why, man. I mean, I get it, like whoever's making the rankings, they're clinging onto that idea because, you know what, this guy did fight Demetrius Johnson. This guy's been around the game for a long time. This guy does have a win within the past fucking 10 years, so we gotta put respect on him somehow. But Tim Elliott, man, in a division like flyweight that is evolving so much and has been so entertaining this year, and the matchups have been really good in terms of, like, you know, solid matchmaking. The rankings have been really developing. Pantoja's been a great champion. Joshua Van has been taking over. Like, flyweight's great, and the rankings have been, you know, kind of cooking. Like, they're arguably better than a lot of these divisions right now, okay? Not all of them, but you know what I'm saying. And I'm not even saying this to be a fake hardcore. Like, genuinely, flyweight is cooking. But my whole point with this is, how is Tim Elliott in the mix? How is Tim Elliott a name you got to look at when you're looking at the top 10 of the flyweight division that has been cooking lately, okay? So Kai Asakura, man, I get that he was just kind of thrown in the rankings here or whatever, but I genuinely think that there's potential for him. A very good chance for him to go out there and win this fight in devastating fashion. I mean, the guy is a finishing artist. The guy knows how to fucking mix it up. He is an elite striker who knows how to hang in a fucking dogfight scenario here, man. And the guy, again, when he's debuting against Pantoja, it's good in the way where you are kind of building up somebody to become a name regardless. Like, even if Asakura goes and loses his next 3 fights, he's always going to be the guy that at least fought Pantoja in his debut. Like, people are going to know him, even if he ends up becoming a guy that fights in the early prelims in the Apex, okay? I see what the UFC was doing there, and they want a Japanese superstar. They're trying to do the similar thing to Tatsuro Taira. I can respect that. That's a big region that's really growing lately. That's a big fan base that can be fucking tapped here, okay? And I think that's why they're giving him a guy like Tim Elliott. I think that's a very winnable fight for Kai Asakura, and it's a way for Kai Asakura to climb his way into the top 10, so then they can start giving him some matchups that isn't just a Pantoja for your debut, because that's a fucking crazy high bar to set for your debut, okay? Especially for someone like Asakura, who is pretty fucking good in terms of the striking department, and he's got a solid chin. He's solidly durable here, you know what I mean? He knows how to kind of mix it up on the feet, but in terms of the grappling, in terms of his offensive game on the ground, or really even his takedown defense, there's not much to be desired there, especially, again, going against a guy like Pan fucking Toja. So this fight is solid. I can't believe I've yapped all this, and I'm basically fucking breaking it down like the fucking Bill Nye the Science guy, but I somehow haven't even said where I'm hyped for it yet. I'm going to put it like slightly below neutral. It's going to be one of these things where I'm out at the bars and I'm drinking with my buddies, and this is going to be the thing that's opening up the main card. Hopefully it ends in some kind of finish. Either it's a Tim Elliott fucking upset here, or it's going to be a Asakura fucking round 2, round 1 knockout here in some devastating fashion. You know what I mean? So I'm going to put it slightly below neutral. It's just kind of, it's one of these it is what it is matchups. There's not much really to invest in here with Tim Elliott. And Asakura, once he gets a win here, I think then he'll start to cook and he'll really start to get people's attention and much more respect in the UFC, but it is what it is. I'll put this fight for now slightly below neutral. Moving on now to the last one we got here, okay? And this is just straight up, I'm getting chills down my spine even thinking about this matchup here, okay? Johnny Walker versus Zhang Mingyang. This is one of these fights where it's like Zhang Mingyang is a really good prospect for the division. His power is genuinely terrifying as fuck. And when you're going against a guy like Johnny Walker, who is as chinny as he is and keeps getting knocked out in such devastating fashion, I'm having a hard time getting hyped up for this one. Like, it's one of these fights where everyone is saying, you know, Sterling versus Ortega is the real main event and yada fucking yada. I feel like this has round 1 KO written all the fuck over it. Mingyang's power is devastating and Walker is chinny as hell, especially for this fucking division. And even if he moves up to heavyweight like people are talking about like he should, I don't even know what that's going to do for the guy. Like, I think that maybe he'll do better, but it is what it is, man. The chin is so concerning. It's goofy as hell. I'm going to put this fight like slightly below neutral, like maybe like a 3 or 4 out of 10. I want to like this fight and I don't hate it. It's just when you're putting Johnny Walker against a guy who has huge fucking KO power. It was the same thing when he was going to fight Asmat Mirzakhanov in the build-up, and the same thing when he was going to fight Bogdan Guskov. Like, both of those fights fell through, probably thank God for Johnny Walker's soul. God bless his family. He's alive that those fights fell through. But this fight specifically, it's the same exact thing. It's a KO artist who keeps taking out everybody in a fucking round or two, and he's going against Johnny Walker, who I feel like, again, he's hanging on to this top 10 spot here, and he was on a bit of a good streak years and years ago, and even within the past 3 years. He had a bit of a good win streak. He was beating guys like Anthony Smith and shit like that. He was going on a good streak, but he's been losing a lot lately, and again, it's been pretty much all by knockout. So Zhang Mingyang, he's just a guy, I fuck with the dude. He's exciting as hell. I don't give a fuck what he says on the mic. I've never heard a goddamn word, but I don't need to. He's exciting as hell in the cage. Great prospect for the division, and there's a lot you could do with him after he fucking knocks out Walker. But if Walker wins this one, I'll salute my Ben Askren throw to him for the rest of my life. I'll never disrespect Johnny Walker again, but I'm just down him heavy here, unfortunately, for this one, man, and I just feel like it's just a nightmare matchup for him. So unfortunately, it's one of these ones where it's like, alright fight, it's an alright scrap, it's going to be wild, but how is it a main event? You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to put it slightly below neutral here. And that's going to be it, boys. August is a solid month. It's not the worst month we've had this year. Like, there's a lot of good fights. There's some pretty solid cards. I like the Shanghai card. I like 319. But unfortunately, we're getting back-to-back Apex cards to start off the month, and that's just unfortunate as hell. Like, why would you put that fate on anybody? So it is what it is, man. So thank you guys so very much for making it this far in the video. Let me know in the comments what you think of the fights for this month. Do you like a lot of the August fights? Do you dislike them? What do you think about my placement on the scale here? Do you like my placement? Do you dislike it? Let me know in the comments below. So all the smoke here. Thank you so very much for giving me your time and attention and making it this far in the video. I really appreciate it, my boys. So hope you have a good one. All the smoke here. Appreciate y'all a lot, man. And I will see you all next time.